What is going on, everyone? Welcome into the Oregon Postgame Show live right here on the Voice of College Football. It is apparently just myself and Spaz, aka Cranky Bitch, tonight. I think for good reason. It just didn't go how the way it was supposed to go, or the way we wanted it to go. That's for sure.
It never goes our way. Come on, man. We are just cursed. Oregon is the curse of the Northwest. Nobody wants Phil Knight winning shit.
Someone's out to get Phil Knight and like make him die before he ever has the opportunity to see that title. I do have to say, not quite a late night show, but yeah. I know. You're pretty broken up about this loss too. I know, Tim. I know.
You can come in and we can talk whatever. We can talk Big Ten, Tim. Come on in.
But yeah, just didn't go the way I wanted to. It started off pretty rough. So for those of people, I mean, I'm sure everyone saw it because of the fact, it was the whole primetime game in Las Vegas for the final Pac-12 championship game, Oregon versus Washington, and for the second time this season, Washington came out on top by 3 in a nail biter in a way. Maybe not quite as nail biting as the first one, but at the same time, I mean, kind of how it went.
Dan Lanning's going to hate the number 3. He's lost 3 games to Washington in the last 2 years, and all 3 of them are by 3 points.
Was the first Washington lost by 3 or 4?
3.
Was it by 3? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a yeah, he's going to hate that number. He's going to hate that number. There were obviously some good positives to take away from this, and then, of course, all the negatives. There were a lot of positives, though, for the most part. But, again, I think first and foremost, because we're not, at least myself, I almost had to do this shit by myself. Oops. That was not it. There we go. As much as it hurts, Duck fans, congratulations to Washington. The first team in the Pac-12 era won to go undefeated in the regular season, let alone win the conference title, and the first to do it even the first since the last in the Pac-10 era, which was Oregon before the conference title, to go undefeated in the regular season. So, congratulations on Washington on that milestone, really. They get to have the final Pac-12 trophy.
Yep.
So as much you're like, yeah. The as much as it hurts, and I mean, obviously we're going to get into the game. I honestly was not writing notes down at first, and I kept running back in here because I'd be in the main room, and I was writing notes. Finally, I took my notepad out there, start writing some notes down. In all honesty, no matter what, though, Spaz, Cranky Bitch.
Yeah.
I'll change your name back here in a second. I'll give you some props. I think anyone here who is a Pac-12 fan, even whatever, or just watching it, I think this is just how the Pac-12 should have gone out. This type of game. Close, down to the wire. The other team still had an opportunity potentially. This is exactly how the game and the conference should have come to a close. This type of game, top 5 matchup, no divisions. Just let the actual 2 best teams battle it out.
Yeah, exactly. And, that's what we got in. Unfortunately, it just Oregon just has a way of losing games, big games, and we just never seem to be able to get over the hump. We came the closest against Ohio State in 2014, but other than that, we can't seem to win it. Get right there, right to the tip of that climax, and then Oregon does that to us every year. It's like that nasty hooker that just left you on the end.
We could be USC fans, so
Yeah.
But this is exactly the way the conference should have gone out. I do have to complain, and I did it on text with you guys before the game. How fucking cheap the Pac-12 was that they couldn't do a pregame show for the Pac-12 network couldn't do a pregame show for the final Pac-12 football
Or a final Pac-12 thing
or
as
an
well.
announcer or anything. They didn't do anything. They're gonna make some sort of highlight video or something like that to commemorate the conference for football or something like that, and put it out. But it was some cutbacks they made or something, and they were like, "No, you're not going to do that." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" The last year,
You couldn't have Alioti and Ryogi Roth do a pregame.
yeah, they couldn't afford apparently the travel. They didn't want to pay for travel or something like that. That's what I heard, anyways. And that's just more failure of why the Pac-12 is dead. Shit like that. What is that? Fucking egg yolk? Or a screwdriver?
It's a whipped vodka.
Oh, okay.
And OJ.
Oh, so it's like a screwdriver. Okay.
Yep.
No, I wasn't sure. I was like, is that egg yolks? Jesus Christ. But yeah, there's a lot to get into with this game, and yeah, I do have to agree with Mark. One thing I want to start off with a little positive. For once in the Pac-12's history, the refereeing, like on replay, was like snappy and efficient. I was like, where the hell has this been for like 10 years?
Yeah. But
no, I mean, you know this too. The Pac has always been like replays take like 5 minutes. And even then they're confused. Tonight they were like snap, like replay. Nope, good. I'm like, where's this been?
Except they did it again though. They did it again. The call on the field was a fumble. They go to replay, and you could have almost called that either way. And 9 times out of 10, they go with the ruling on the field as stood. But nope. Can't let that happen. We got to change it to an incomplete pass because Washington's going to score here and take the lead. We can't let that not happen. I swear to God.
I actually wrote down my notes. I wrote down in my notes because I text fumble, and then it was like, "Ooh, that is really close." And when I watched the replay, I actually said, on my notes, I put, "I agree with the call that they made, saying it was a forward pass." It was so damn close. I get exactly where you're coming from, though, saying it was called this on the field. They should have just probably left it. It was very, very close. But I'm just saying, in the fact of like multiple calls, the way that they just went through them, and they got them all. That was the
play call.
That was the only one I think that you would say that if you disagree with that one, I may say, okay, they got it right. The point is, the rest of them were all good, and they were all fast.
And
fast decisions.
the one they took the longest on was the Holden touchdown at the end.
Yeah, because they had to stop play and then
they're like, oh, well, due to the fact that he kept the ball under control through the goal line, it's like he stayed in bounds. You don't want to say that your official made a bad call. I'm sorry.
Well, let's just get into the rough stuff here. Let's just get into the rough stuff here, because you know what, there were a ton of positives, as much as you want to take, but you know what, let's just dive right into it, no matter what, because none of it mattered. The game's over. It's an L. It is what it is. Let's just talk about the bad shit. Get it out of the way immediately while it's in our mind. And this is the thing that killed us the most. I have to agree with Mark immediately. That is 100% true. I mean, going down 10-0, then only a field goal, which I will give credit. We'll talk about positives about that, but yeah, it's the slow start, the 2 3 and outs, basically, and Washington had the ball the entire first quarter. Really put a stress and strain on this team.
And what was with the run defense tonight? The only time Oregon gives up any rushing yards is both games against Washington. They give up a banged-up Dylan Johnson over 100 yards on both games. Tonight he went for over 150.
Yeah, 153 or something like that.
Yeah,
it didn't seem like they were prepared for them to run it as much. Because tonight Washington had McMillan back, and they didn't have McMillan the first time. So I think they were more pass expecting, and then all of a sudden Washington just came out and was running. Washington had a great game plan. I mean,
yeah,
hands down, they had a great game plan. You can't deny that, and there's nothing else to say about it. They had a fantastic game plan, offensively and defensively. And Oregon overcame several things during that game. Obviously, to take the lead at some point,
down 20.
20-10. That touchdown before half was big. Then to stop them, or then go down and score a touchdown, and then take the lead there 24-20. That was big, but it was such a hole already to get out of that by the time we got out of it, all Washington had to do was just keep putting up some points to dig themselves right back out of it. I mean, I think the biggest negative, like the first 3 and out, 3 passes. The first pass, that's no one's fault. It hit the ref. It hit the middle judge, like directly on his shoulder. He was trying to get out of the way. I mean, that happens. It does happen. It's not common, but it happens. But when you have Nix being the leading rusher for the team with 6 carries and 69 yards, mostly because of that one broken run that he did down the sideline, we did not have the running game tonight. The running game just never came through at all.
No.
Which is a rarity. I mean, that's the one thing we were like, yeah, that'll actually work, is the run game, but no, not tonight.
No, we just could not get any running game going whatsoever. When you got to be more one-dimensional, and then Troy Franklin got hurt early in the game too. That didn't help.
Yeah, he was ineffective almost the entire game. They had great coverage on him, and then he got dinged up. He had a couple catches after that, but nothing major. Yeah, he
And
wasn't
again,
there.
when he got hurt because the defender was already on his back and they didn't call it.
Well, it's not because the defender was on his back. When he fell, he landed like this, and
right. But I'm just saying,
I see things differently than some of these guys. That was just good defense. That was just one of those bang bang good defense plays. But again, he got hurt. Florence was out, which Manning did his best to fill in for Florence as a corner, but Manning's not Florence, and he tried, but he kept grabbing. And actually, maybe the grabs were a good thing because in a way, we didn't give up any of those big 50-50 balls this time.
No, just
most
a
of
bunch
the
of 30-yard, 40-yard chunk plays.
Yeah, most of those were very long crossing patterns that unfortunately like our safety and linebackers couldn't keep up with. So it was like, and no, I don't think the onside didn't cost anything. That onside kick didn't actually cost anything because they got it at the 40. So instead of getting it like the 25 or 30, they got it at the 40. That was it, like a 40 or 45, and they just ran out the clock. So they would have run out the clock anyways, probably. So it didn't cost them at all, actually.
No, but I think the play calling could have been different down, if they, if you made them go from the 25, maybe I don't know.
I don't know. Because all they had to do was run literally like 4 plays, and that was it. So I don't think it was gonna.
You had 3 timeouts. If you kick it deep, if they run a couple of plays and it's like inside their 40, they're probably going to be a little hesitant to go, too far off. 20 yards in field difference could have made the difference in play calling.
Yeah, but I think at that point, I still am going to say they probably would have gotten a couple completions and ended it anyways. It was kind of a risk reward, obviously, but they didn't get the ball at like hour 45 and then score a touchdown or something like that. They just needed to get a first down and run the clock and burn our timeouts. And no, I don't think this game was not solely on the defense. This game was on the offense sputtering at times. There were
play calling. 3rd and 9.
A quarterback draw.
A quarterback draw on 3rd and 9 with 8 minutes to go in the game. What are you doing?
And we were at like our 39-yard line or something like that, so we had to punt.
Yeah. Just horrible play calling at the worst times.
The first 2 drives, 3 and outs. There was just Washington had a great play,
a great game plan. They came in. We got out coached again. I love Dan Lanning just like anybody else. Really, any real Duck fan. But he's getting out coached by Kalen DeBoer 3 times in a row. That hurts.
Well, you can argue. We could look back at this too on a postseason and argue that in the first one, actually Lanning did better. He just made some dumb decisions, so he didn't actually get out coached. He just made dumb decisions. Tonight, though, Washington had a game plan. They came in and they executed it near to perfection.
And DeBoer's young too, so they're both young.
Well, the difference is DeBoer has like 10 years of coaching experience. Lanning only has 2 now.
Yeah,
DeBoer has a lot of winning experience, so you have to assume that he would probably know what to do. But regardless, yeah, Washington had a perfect game plan tonight, and they almost executed it flawlessly. Obviously, there were things that happened that they would not like to have given up, but so credit. Oregon and the receivers and everything like that, or the defense too. But yeah, I mean, there was the running. We couldn't stop the run for some reason. Even Penix ran for 2 or 3 first downs randomly, even though we tried to kill him every time that he ran. They tried.
Yeah, let's see. 20. Oh, yeah. See, there it is again, too. You know, it's back to that Mario Cristobal type. The only difference is we threw the ball 34 times. We only ran 20.
The running game was doing the running game was doing absolutely nothing. There was like 4 to 5.
That's not our game, though.
There was like 4 to 5 good runs, minus the one big one by Knicks.
Jordan James had the longest yard run other than Bo. He had 7.
Yeah, exactly. There was 3 to 4 good ones other than the Bo one. But other than that, it was like 0 or maybe 1 or 2 yards tops. Washington was stifling tonight. Again, all credit to Washington on that. But I have to disagree again, Jackson, because again, you're saying, oh, we could have easier field position if they've gotten a good punt return, but again, they weren't going to punt it. They were going to run that clock out no matter what. I think they had those play calls set up. They knew what they were doing. We couldn't stop the run, so they would have just burnt clock anyways. The only difference is instead of ending the game at our 30-yard line, they would have ended the game at their 35-yard line. That's about the only difference, really. It's just at that point, it didn't matter. Once they got that first down, it was done. Didn't matter what side of the field it was on.
No, but if they had kicked it and got it at the 25, I wouldn't have totally kicked it. Maybe I would have not squibbed, but pooch kicked it.
I personally, I just don't think it would have mattered because literally they would have gone 15 yards deeper. That's about it, and they would have still done
they would have ran the same plays regardless of field position
and gotten the first down and run out the clock.
I don't know, man. I mean, if you kick it and they try to return it and you tackle them inside the 20, it's a whole different.
Again. Now it's everything is all the same. Hindsight. It didn't cost us points. The Washington had perfect play calling to end the game there, so it didn't cost. It's not like that cost us score points or vice versa. One way they score points, we score points. Because look at tonight. Shockingly, tonight was the opposite. We were 2 for 2 on 4th downs. Washington was like 1 for 3, where it was almost reversed the last game. So, it was just kind of one of those games where everything was like flip flopped. But still was not enough. It just wasn't enough. And I really do hold it to Washington's game plan and the slow offensive start, like Mark said. That slow offensive start where Washington drained the entire first quarter. That first drive Washington did, even though it was only a field goal, was literally 9.5 minutes? Almost. I mean, it was 9 minutes, 8.5, 9 minutes. They just went down the field for a field goal. I was like, oh, this is the type of game they're playing. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, one guy carries the ball 28 times for 152 yards. One guy. They only have one guy that can run that ball. Yeah, he's the one that's going to run it. All their other backs had one rush apiece. That's it. Yeah, so know that he's running the ball. Why is there not a spy on him or something?
Because then you take away from the passing game, and we are already getting burnt on those long crossing routes, like those long patterns.
If you stop him, if you contain him from getting 5, 6, 7 yards a carry,
I think it's easier said than done. I think all we can say is that, look, Washington had a fantastic game plan. They came out and executed it. Oregon took the lead there for a short time. For fuck's sake, when what was there 2 minutes and again 2 minutes like 40 seconds left, we got the ball back, 2 plays, 80-yard touchdown or 75-yard touchdown, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's not over yet." But again, at that point, then you have 2 minutes left. What do you do? So you have 3 timeouts. You try to do it. Washington executed to be able to burn our timeouts and got a first down, and that was all it took.
I don't know, something, Walter. I mean, the guy's killing you all night. He's the only guy out running the ball for him. You got to do something. Somebody's got to be able to figure out. We can't get in the backfield to tackle a guy. He was just running the ball down our throat. One guy. I could see if they had 3 or 4 backs running and stuff like we do. But yeah.
Yeah, the defense did I wrote down, there was decent pressure for a lot of time on Penix, but he was still able to like complete some of those passes. Just his receiving core, the receiving core is amazing. I mean, I texted you guys, remember? I was like, hey, if we get out of this, luckily this will be the best receiving core we have to deal with outside of maybe Brock Bowers by himself.
Yeah.
Really, this is receiving core is you just throw it up and they get it. And we stopped most of those 50-50 balls, but they went to like long crossing patterns instead, and our guys could not keep up. That too. Didn't tackle very well. Yeah, there were several of those where I was like, come on. Yeah, several of those.
Yeah. So I found the thing, but I can't find who plays in what bowl. Like New Year's 6 bowls.
Oh,
we're not going to be below 12. We might drop to 10. That still puts us the number 2 team in the PAC12, and I don't know if there's a designation in one of the New Year's 6 bowls for the runner-up, or
sure, that would be a Tuesday. That would be a Tuesday discussion because it depends on what happens with the other teams.
Well, I know, but in theory, what are we looking at?
Well, this year the Rose Bowl is a playoff game as well as the Sugar Bowl. Right?
So are we looking at Fiesta or Cotton?
Most likely Fiesta then, because Fiesta is usually the Pac-12 tie-in, isn't it?
I think so.
Cotton is Big 12 ACC or SEC, I think usually.
So Oregon, Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl?
That could be. That could be. I mean,
that very well could be.
I mean, yeah, we should get the at-large bid for any one of those. It just depends on how some of the other games go, but most likely it should be a New Year's 6. Who again? Then that'll be the question.
God,
depending on who's available.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a. Regardless of this game, and there's still a lot to talk about in this game, but a lot of people, we get on the hype train, just like every fan base does, or all college football fans. You get on the hype train, you're like, hey, we do this, we can get this. Hey, we can do this, we get this. This was still a step forward just in year 2 of Dan Lanning. Instead of two regular season losses and not getting a title chance, this year he avenged most of that outside of Washington, obviously, got to the Pac-12 title game, and now can go to a New Year's 6 bowl. So it's still like a progression where, as fans, I think you have to agree with me, Spaz, I will change your name back. I will be nice here. for those people who haven't seen, I changed his name to Cranky Bitch. I will change it back appropriately to Spaz. I'll change it back for him. I'll be nice tonight. He needs a hot cocoa and a cuddle or something. I will say, as college football fans, and it happens to every fan base, you get such high expectations that if you don't meet those, it's a failure. But at the same time, this is still progress, and it's not like it's dropping off, like recruiting has gone down or not. So you can only assume Big Ten will be different, but you can only assume that Dan Lanning will still continue to have good success. You know, maybe we feel like this was the final year, the final opportunity. I don't know, you know. But the point is, all college football fans become delusional when there's success.
Yeah, we always are. We like being delusional.
So sometimes it takes a little bit of a humbling, like Michigan and TCU. You know, not calling out names in the chat or anything.
No, I agree with Michigan guy. Yeah, he's gonna have to get over the hump when win a big game. Is a New Year's Six bowl win getting over that hump, or does he have to? Does it have to be a big conference win? Like,
well, I still have to ask this question. Well, what is considered a big win? Because, like you just said, New York Six Bowl. When was the last Michigan Bowl win? Jim Harbaugh has been a coach for how long? 20 years? You know, Dan Lanning's in his second year. You know,
yeah.
So the point is he's progressed already from one year to another win and a conference title appearance, and only lost them, those games by 3 points. So I mean, I'm not going to complain. It sucks. It hurts because we felt very confident going into this game, but again, Washington just had the perfect game plan.
Especially this dumbass.
Almost perfect execution. Yeah, your score was the farthest up. For a second there, I was like, oh, Sean's going to win this bitch, isn't he? We all lost, so doesn't matter. Score predictions are null and void at this point.
Mine was the worst.
In the third quarter, I actually thought I was like, mine actually might be getting to that point, but yeah, that slowed very quickly. But again, we've said it multiple times. That's why we started out with the banners. I started out with it immediately. I was like, hey, congrats again to Washington. Congratulations. As much as that hurts us Duck fans to say, congratulations to Washington. I'm assuming if everything goes to plan, like most people say, one, obviously they're in the playoff. That's done. You know that.
Yep.
I am going to assume they're probably going to end up facing Michigan in the Rose Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Unless Georgia loses and then Florida State loses or something like that. Some weird kind of scenario like that. But
don't worry, your ass beating's coming tomorrow, Jackson. I don't think it's going to be as pretty as ours. What's up, Tony?
Yeah, that's why I was like, again, I don't. Sometimes you don't know if it's worse to just get. No, it won't be. The Rose Bowl is a playoff game, Tony.
Fiesta Bowl.
It'll be Fiesta or Cotton. But yeah, totally lost my train of thought. Oh, there we go. Yeah, sometimes I don't know if it's better to lose, in that way, or just get, blown out. It's hard to watch getting blown out, but then it's more painful to watch a close loss, So it's kind of a give and take on that situation.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Mark. That's kind of what they were saying on the game broadcast as well. It'd be kind of cool to see it. It's funny because Washington, Michigan was the last Rose Bowl that was big before it went into the BCS and all that. That's what they were saying earlier. Yeah.
Sean, who didn't show up tonight, you're fired, Sean. Thank you for your final donation. But here, cheers to you.
No,
Sean.
that's Ohio State, Sean.
Oh yeah, that's Sean. Oh, Sean Garner. Sorry, I apologize. Well, you're fired too, Sean, from the Sunday show. But yeah, don't worry. Well, hopefully we'll see you in a bowl game.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be Oregon, Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl, Sean.
It could be. I mean, it could be. But hey, the shoots is on Sean. We appreciate that, Sean, of course. Now I'll see you Sunday night, Sean. Especially because it will be bowl selection Sunday.
Yeah, and we'll probably know if we're facing each other. And if so,
we'll know by then. Yeah, I think they're going to name all the bowls on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's going to be a.
It's like a 3-hour show.
That's our show on Sunday night. Might go 6 hours.
Oh, fuck. That's not even funny, man.
Oops. No, Oregon versus Alabama. Hey. I don't know.
Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, but then again, they could pick up Oregon too, if depending on how the other games go. You never know how that works. So yeah, I would take that too. That'd be cool. That'd be okay. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I almost agree with Tony. I think that was Bo's last game. I should start. What's there for Bo to play for?
A big bowl win. That's been his big thing. He wants championships and a big bowl win. So I do think he will play. I do think he'll play still. I don't think he's going to stop. And yeah, HR picking stuff here. Yeah, he's right. He's like, yeah, they said that Washington had like most other people were like 6+ year seniors. Yeah. So I was like, geez, yeah, no wonder. I was like, they've all that whole team has been there quite a while. Let's go. Let's go all the Tostitos. Sean. I think Sean was drinking tonight.
Oh yeah.
Is it still the Tostita Fiesta Bowl or is it something else now? It's something else, isn't it?
Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
Is it?
Yep. I just looked it up earlier.
Oh, okay.
Because I was seeing what the New Year's Six bowls were.
I can't keep track. These bowl games change their name all the time, so I'm like, Jesus, I can't keep track of that shit.
Whatever. Who are you?
Yeah, someone was trolling our text earlier, chat earlier. Said Cam Ward already committed to Oregon. I'm like, he hasn't even officially entered the portal yet, or if he did, I don't think he already signed with Oregon.
He did tonight.
Yeah, so it was like
he did a Twitter thing tonight where he said he was exploring his NFL and portal options.
Yeah, no, it was more someone was trolling saying that he'd already signed with Oregon.
There was a big article thing that came up, was blowing up over that. Somebody from one of the duck sites, they either hacked one of the duck sites or one of the guys from within one of the duck writing sites on Twitter blew it up, man. It was like Cam Ward committed to Oregon, blah, blah, blah. It was running on like 8 different sites.
I
And
looked.
they were having
I
to
looked.
go in
I
and
looked it
delete
up
it.
through all. I looked it up through official sites too, and I was like, nah, there's nothing there. So I'm like,
Yeah, they had to pull it from like 8 different sites.
yeah, I was like, I mean, in the sense of the system, Cam Ward would probably fit he'd probably be one of the best fits, but I just don't think it's Thompson. I mean, but then again, until we see it, I guess you can't say this would work or not. Just like they say DJU is, he's in the portal from Oregon State. He wants to go to Oregon because he wants to play his last year with his brother. But it's like, that's not our quarterback. He wants to be like a solid backup, fine, but that's definitely not our starting quarterback. I just don't think he does not fit that system.
DJ, no, stop.
Well, no, he said he wants to play his last year with his brother, and I understand that, but I just don't think he doesn't fit the system. As a solid backup, yes, that'd be fine. Someone to run the offense, that's fine. But
If you could get a Cam Ward and DJU to come, and DJU knowing that he would be the backup in case Cam got hurt.
well, that's what I mean. Just be a solid backup. At least you could just rely on him to not screw it up. Pretty much. Like, just don't fuck up. Hand the ball off, run once in a while. Put him in for power read options, as a QB draw or something like that here and there, or something like that,
I don't think he's an upgrade over Ty, though.
That's I'm not going to say he's not. That's why I said he'd be the backup.
Wait a minute, you're saying you would start Ty Thompson over DJU?
No, I'm saying if you got Cam Ward and DJU, I'd start Cam Ward.
Oh yeah.
Ty would transfer.
Yeah, Dante would have to be, a develop. And I think if he came here and developed a couple years under Stein, yeah.
The whole reason he didn't go to Oregon, one was because of money. I think, and he wanted to play right away.
Well, and everything I was hearing on the spaces the last couple of days was he's pretty set to go to Michigan State because his mom's really sick. She's been dealing with cancer, and that's part of the reason why he wanted to go to the Big Ten. And so I just think he's probably going to go to Michigan State. And also Michigan State's quarterback decommitted yesterday too.
Yeah. No, 2 or 3 days. Yeah, 2 or 3 days ago he decommitted because Oregon State never offered him. He wanted to go play for John Smith. They never offered him. So when John Smith got there, he was like, I don't want to play for this guy. I'm out. And left.
Oh, I didn't know it was that.
Yeah, that was why he left. Because he didn't get recruited by John. He didn't get recruited. He didn't get an offer from John Smith at Oregon State.
Oh.
So when he went there, he was like, yeah, I don't want to play for this guy. So he left.
Wow.
And that's it. I mean, what this year will be, and I don't want to get off the game too far. We've already gone off the game quite a bit. This next year will be a bridge gap year with a quarterback. And because then we do have, still have other recruits. We still have guys on the bench waiting.
I'm going to time out this dude in about 2 seconds.
Which ones?
This
Marvin Davis.
He's starting to become annoying.
Well, that's up to you. You're a moderator. You can do whatever you want.
I'm going to Tim Prangley you. Stop fucking with me.
Don't get him started about acting like USC people. But yeah, so name I don't know. This game is so hard to break down. I will give some positives. I'll give some more positive about this game. I'll give some more positive about this game quick. Outside of the one kind of long kickoff return they gave, kickoff or punt return they gave, and the kind of bobbled snap on a punt, they still got it off fine. Special teams was fine tonight. Special teams was actually pretty good. Cam didn't hit his field goal. No problems. Special teams was not bad. Not bad tonight.
Yeah, I'd take that dry toast. Yeah.
Outside of the slow start, I mean, the offense, stalled a little bit, obviously, with the slow start, especially the defense did pretty much what they could, I think. That's all I can say.
I don't understand how we stop the run all year long, except for this one dude. Twice. Same guy runs for over 100 yards on us, both games. I don't understand that. There's much better backs in this league than that. I mean, you have Damian Martinez to 38 yards.
Yeah, that's the thing with Bucky. Again, that's why I have to say I have to give the credit mostly to Washington's game plan on their defense, because it didn't matter really who was running the ball.
A lot.
They just were shutting it.
They were committed to stopping the run.
It's like it didn't matter who was running it for the most part. They were holding it in check. That's why I said it's bad that Nix was the leading rusher.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was that Washington was literally like, this is not happening again.
What pregame flopping are you talking about, Marvin? You talking about Tuesday night's show? Well, let's discuss. Yeah, their Huskies defense was definitely legit tonight. You're right, Austin. They were. That's why we said we gave them their kudos. Oh, stop.
Yeah, no. Both. He's not bottom 10. Get out of here. He's definitely not
Bobby Wagner, go troll somewhere else. I that's you.
The no, Washington. That's why we've said it multiple times. Congratulations, Washington. Credit to them fully on all their game planning that they did. The one thing tonight was that. Damn it! See, when I'm reading text trying to see if I don't miss anything, and I fucking forget shit. Is anyone surprised that Mark lets me run a Sunday night show on his main channel like this?
No, we have.
There's a lot running through my head right now. You know, I mean, it's like Jesus.
We got we got out coached. The trolls are the trolls. I mean,
tonight the game plan was perfect.
Yeah,
it was absolutely perfect for Washington. Oh, I mean, almost. I won't say it was perfect, because I'm sure there was that 2-play touchdown drive they gave up at the end. That was not a desirable thing for them, but I do think this. I am surprised that it felt kind of lackluster. A little bit later in the game, the energy on the sideline seemed to pick up, but it didn't seem like some of the other games where you've seen that energy on the sideline. It really did not seem like it tonight for some reason. I don't know what it was. Maybe they got, kind of shell shocked in that first half. But that was my thought. Here's credit again fully Washington's defense on stopping the run, because they've been in these close games Well, Washington knew exactly where to attack Oregon at. Even though Oregon didn't even come out trying to run the ball. So it was kind of like,
yeah, and you saw picking stuff. You saw really when Oregon ran James, we had much more success. I think I think it's starting to show in ways that Bucky's size is starting to cause some problems against the bigger, more up tempo defenses, in my mind. That's what I'm seeing, really. He's declined. And I think it's because people know they figured out his run scheme, and and they kind of know where he's going to be.
a little bit of that, I think, too. The where was it? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Well, this is what I always say in most teams that want to run like 8-minute drives and get a field goal, and then they'll score a touchdown with like 30 seconds left. And I'm like, wow, see how that works? Amazing. But yeah, it felt like Oregon was trying to control the clock and establish themselves more until that final desperation drive they had for the 2 plays for a touchdown. Should they have done that more? But also, I think it was partially the coverage, because at that point, I think Washington was just trying to do prevent, a little bit of a cover, like a cloud coverage, umbrella kind of cloud. Hopefully not to give that up. And they really should have tackled Holden. They had his jersey in their hands.
Yeah, they did. And that was almost what did it for us.
But yeah, I mean, again, all we can say here is, as we said, full credit to Washington. Again, great game plan. And well, hold on, Austin, grade for this game or the season? I guess you mean just this game. I'd say a B is okay.
Goodbye.
There you go. I'd say
Figured it out.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah, you have to go to the YouTube. I'd say Nix's grade for this game is probably a B. Like just a B, maybe a B minus. It definitely was not his one of his stellar games.
Yeah. We're your bitch. It's okay. We can take it. We got tough skin over here, man. We've been flapping in the duck cold for a long time. So, but we're okay. We always bounce back.
Yes, Austin, I'll agree with you. I'll give it a B. Spaz isn't paying any attention.
Oh,
I'd say a B minus.
B minus.
Mostly because of that pick. After we got the Penix pick, then he threw that pick because he didn't see the defender at all, because the defender was out of bounds.
He was out of bounds, so he threw it, and he probably didn't even know the rule that the defender can come in and get.
I didn't know that rule.
I didn't know that neither till the announcer guy said, "Oh yeah, you can go out of bounds and come back in as a defender, not as an offensive player." Like, say, yeah, what? I heard that.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know that rule. I thought it was the same as basically the same as a offensive player. Honestly.
If that's true, that's a dumb fucking rule, and it needs to be abolished from football because that makes zero sense.
Well, yes, Tony, you're correct. One, if the offensive player gets forced out of bounds, he can come back in and touch it first legally because he was forced out of bounds. That's fine. But if the defender goes out because he's forcing him out, the defender is going out on his own. I didn't know that the defender can just come back in, quote unquote, reestablish, and then be the first to touch also. So I don't think Nix even saw him until he all of a sudden stepped back on the field and was like, interception. And he was like, the hell? You know, I don't even think he saw the guy. So outside of that, I mean, in the first couple drives, I think it was pretty good.
Not according to the announcers.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd ever actually can recall seeing that happen. So
me neither.
That's why it was one of those. That's why it was one of those really weird kind of calls. And that's it. I don't. Even the announcer said, I think Nix thought he was a guy on the sideline, like running off the sideline for some reason. He was out of bounds. And Penix did pretty good tonight. Obviously, he did better than Bo did tonight, which obviously shows in the score. Penix was 27 of 39, 319. He only had one touchdown and a pick, whereas Bo had 3 touchdowns total and then the 1 pick. But at the end of the day, they didn't need Penix to do a whole lot. Penix made those throws that he needed to do. And that pick didn't cost them because then we tossed it right back to him. So it's just one of those, it's just one of those tough losses. It sucks. It sucks. It hurts a lot. I mean, it hurts, but it's again Spaz and the chat. Spaz and to the chat, both of you, all of you, all of you. Is it better to lose a close game like this in a championship mode, or just get completely destroyed, as in blown out? I want to know what the chat thinks. Better to lose a close one like this or get blown out? What is more painful?
These are close ones are more painful.
I'm asking the chat. Yes, the umpire definitely got a credit for a pass breakup. At that first throw, I was like, this isn't a good way to start the game. Rather get blown out. Hurts worse to get blown out. Blown out.
Whoa, stop.
This game is better.
Akili Smith better than Bo Nix. Stop.
Well, we haven't seen Akili Smith Jr. yet.
No, this person's talking about senior.
Oh, Akili Smith himself. Different offenses. It's hard to compare. Closer game is better. Yeah. That's why I say, like, to Spaz over here, and I reminded him at the beginning of the show, and to our other 2 that aren't here, especially one mostly, I had to sit and do the Georgia game last year by myself. Yeah, how ridiculous that was to have to sit here by yourself and chat for like an hour about, like, yeah, that didn't go to plan. But
Well, there's more than one, Mark. Sorry. There's like several people. There's cat's kind of going off right now.
yeah, I mean, and that's fine.
It's like,
As, lo-
oh, now there's
as,
people talking shit.
as long as all those trolls hit that like button, hey, troll away. Troll away.
The guy in the soccer shirt over there is starting to slur his words and he's falling over.
This is true.
That's when I said, "You're gone."
And this is true. Washington did push Oregon around tonight.
Yeah.
The first game, Oregon kind of pushed Washington around a little bit. I mean, significantly more. Tonight, Washington really
Here, D, I'm
had
gonna
control.
I'm gonna pump your bubble up there, D. Bo Nix is 0-8 in big games. Thank you very much. Because they said going in, they talked about Bo Nix hasn't won a big game in his career. He's 0-7 in like top 5 or whatever big matchups, and he was 0-7 coming into tonight. Now he's 0-8. Big deal.
Yeah, I mean, we can see all the trolls in here, and it's fine. It's like we're not sitting here making any excuses. It's like,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, we're gonna be big in the next couple of years. Dan Lanning's got this team set up just fine. The one thing I don't like, there's no divisions anymore. Why do you go to from 12 to now 18 teams and you're going to take your divisions out? Oh, top 2 teams in the conference.
Well, well, remember at this point too, the Pac-12 was the only one that could actually count how many teams they had in their conference. So that shows what the Big Ten knows.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got next year is going to be 18 teams and no conference, just the top 2.
Well, no divisions. Just the top 2. So you could still have like Ohio State, Michigan play each other, and then play again the next week,
and then play again, and then play. Yeah, it's like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah, I don't know why now they didn't do an East-West. Now would be the time to do it when you have Oregon, Washington, USC,
UCLA,
all the other West teams, or take a couple of the former what would be the former West teams, move them to the East to kind of even it, and then do East-West. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, Washington at the end of the day, no matter what, Washington was the better team. I mean, the first time we could argue Oregon should have won that game, but they didn't. Tonight, once again, they didn't. So, and tonight, Washington was definitely the better team tonight. That is for sure. There's no doubting that. I'm definitely not in denial about that tonight, especially. Oops. Yes, that is why we've had oh shit. Oh, I got rid of the moment of silence. Oh well. That's why we've had a moment of silence for the PAC. Because again, it's amazing that at the end of the day, it's hard to. We haven't gone to think about comprehending exactly how the season has gone, that every game we've played almost is the last time we're potentially playing these teams outside of obviously Washington, USC, and hopefully Oregon State. Outside of those teams in the future, we don't know when we're going to play them again. And it takes a while for that to set in. And tonight, it still hadn't set in that was the final Pac-12 game, like official Pac-12 game and conference title game. So yeah, it's tough because everything's going to change. Obviously, next year, obviously the Pac-12 is continuing on for basketball and I believe baseball. I think through like the beginning of the summer, and then it's officially done. But for football, it is officially over. And yeah, it's it sucks. But I think it'll set in more tomorrow. I guess I thought it'd be worse, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I guess in my head. To Austin, Jesus. Depends on how long you're talking about. I was like, I think the most painful one was the Auburn game. The Auburn loss. That was the most painful one. Then maybe I don't know. This one doesn't rank. I don't think anywhere on my top 3 or 4 in the sense of losses. Personally, anyways, we can wait and ask Spaz here for a second, but yeah, Stanford 2012. That was pretty bad, Tony. That was pretty bad. Yeah, because that was literally that kept us from potentially again going to play for a BCS title. So that one hurt too. This one doesn't quite rank on the Richter scale in the sense of some of those. What? Jesus Christ, you look like shit. Jesus.
I don't.
Where does this rank for your heartbreaking losses? Because I said Auburn, the 2010 Auburn, and then Tony brought up 2012 Stanford. And that kept us out of that BCS title game.
Top 5.
Top 5, really? Shockingly, it hasn't registered near that high for me. I don't know why.
Just because we got so hyped. We got right there, and I just I felt this team was different this year. Yeah, this burns.
Well, it burns, but I mean, in the sense of like, this didn't have me like throwing shit at the TV almost or screaming at it.
No, I didn't throw my beer at the TV this time, so yeah.
So I guess there's that at least. That's what I mean. I always love the trolls in the chat. Penix is just as old as Knicks and has been playing just as long as Knicks. So I don't know why everyone thinks Knicks is old. Penix is just as old. Actually, I think Penix is 24, isn't he? He's older than Knicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, Penix is older. So was Howell, I think. Howell is 24. Not Howell. Sorry, Hartman. Sam Hartman.
Hartman,
he's 24. So he's older than Knicks too. So y'all go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, you tell. Bastards.
Yeah, you can troll all you want. Once again, just hit that like button. That's all that matters. Is there any other thoughts on this game, especially or the chat? Any questions, comments on this game? Because obviously it's the only game of the night, really, outside of the Conference USA title game, which I was watching the first half of almost until ours came on, which turned out to be a pretty good game from Conference USA. That one turned out to be a pretty good one, as Liberty defeats Liberty defeated New Mexico State 49-35. So they did pull away at the end there. That actually was a pretty good game over there.
The only reason these guys got to be 6-year guys is because of the fact that of the pandemic. So if y'all want to cry about, oh, these guys are so old, it's only because most kids are out of school by the time they're 22 now. But if you want to get technical, most kids that go to college at 18, and if they do a 4-year degree, that's 22. If they play 4 years of college sports, that's 22, 23 years old, people. No different than what we got now. Y'all are just used to the one and done or sophomore bounce. Not everybody.
People are bouncing like, oh, Penix is 1 month younger than Bo. I'm like, okay, so he's still fucking old too.
Yeah.
It's like he's still fucking old too then.
There's a good one, Captain Hills.
That's it. The pandemic year really screwed up all of college football in the sense of the team's rosters and transfer portals and all of that. It screwed it up in a good way for the player because the players couldn't do anything about it necessarily. But it really screwed up team rosters in the way of who stays where, how long. And shit. So it's like,
it's funny games. It's great, people, but when you start personally attacking people on this panel, sorry, I don't have any use for that garbage.
Wow, you have brought the USC out of spaz tonight, chat.
Yeah, well, when they start, attacking people in this, on a personal level, basically, I don't agree with that.
Is Oregon officially out of the Pac-12? Well, Oregon football, yes.
Yes.
Well, technically, whatever bowl game we go to, we're going to be Pac-12. And that was a good question because because I believe basketball is going to continue as Pac-12. I think baseball is going to be Pac-12, and then there was talk about is spring ball for football going to be Big Ten or still Pac-12 for spring ball? But I think spring ball will be Big Ten for football, but the rest of the other sports are going to be still Pac-12 until summertime. That's when it officially, the entire conference. Anyways.
Captain Hills was saying that, is Stein the deal? And he's struggling to decide if Stein's the right guy or not.
I think Stein is the guy. I think he's going to evolve. This is his first year too, really, as an OC, and we had the best point per margin, like victories per game, all the analysis. Actually, the best scoring offense in Oregon history, and this is overall the best defense Oregon has had probably in. I think Joey Harrington said probably since like 1960. In the sense of the actual overall defensive stats, even better than like Gangrene and Nick Aliotis. So that's what I mean, Tony. This offense is actually better than Helfrich with Mariota, and Chip Kelly with Mariota, in the sense of like points per drive and everything like that. Like this was actually one of a better team apparently analytically than that. So I think he's going to adjust. I think he's going to make some changes. I think it's going to have to become a little more run based. I think this year they wanted to take advantage of Knicks, but now with a different quarterback, depending on who it is, like they're going to have to figure that out. Maybe it was because of the new O line this year. The O line did good pass blocking, but not quite as good run blocking. So they went for that more pass happy,
Yeah, I agree, Tony. I want to see more, and we'll have to see with next year who we get in at quarterback and what we have receivers wise next year. I would like to see this offense open a little more, little more open downfield throws. I will agree with, in some senses, with some people that at times this Oregon offense can be very check down heavy. And I think Washington figured that out tonight, and they knew, and all they wanted to do was just keep Oregon on the edge.
Yeah, there was several times the Knicks would check down, which normally works out really well. And tonight I was like, why that doesn't seem like a good decision tonight.
No,
for whatever reason. I think what will be interesting is not even like what quarterback we get. I think is who's coming back receiver wise. We know. I'm not worried about the bowl game. I'm not even thinking about the bowl game. I'm thinking next year. We know Franklin's gone. He's going to the NFL. We know that. He's going to be late first, at least late first round, if not early second round. I think we're going to get Bryant. We're going to have Bryant back. We'll probably have Johnson, probably Holden. And then we have our other young guys. So I think our receiving core will be okay. So I think it'll come down to quarterback, but I want to see the adjustments. Yeah, the Stein does make to make it more of a little more downfield happy.
Yeah, they did shut those two down in the second half a lot. Yeah.
No. Yeah. They did shut, but yeah, the Titans more. Yeah, how could I forget that one-handed grab though for the touchdown from Ferguson, and then the clutch fourth down, going down for that fourth down catch for a touchdown too from Ferguson tonight.
Yeah, Holden, man, he gets one catch and goes to the house. Where was that the rest of the game anywhere? Why wasn't he used in other parts of the game? That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to go back and watch the tape to see what they were doing in coverage. But yeah, I mean, it's just, or it wasn't friendly routes, or Knicks just seemed so. The first two drives, he seemed very focused on Franklin. Unfortunately, he kind of locked on Franklin a lot, and that I think was kind of part of the problem. Because that first drive, I think he targeted Franklin the first 3 and out. It was 2 out of 3 plays he tried to get it to Franklin. Yeah. The next time it was probably another 2 or 3. Then in the 3 of out, it was like he got a little locked in. I think tonight he got a little too locked in on who he wanted to throw the ball to. Yeah, Tony, that's what I said. I'm like, hey, this is Lanning's second year. DeBoer has been a head coach and won for like 10 years at places, if not more even. I might not even remember that as the actual timeline. Lanning's, fresh, so to say. And then with a first-time OCer, just like Dillingham last year, you're gonna learn from these things. Tonight, when he took risks, when they took those fourth downs, 2 for 2.
Yeah.
So they made adjustments in the play call, and how to run those or what they were trying to go for. So I mean, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. I'm not concerned about it. Same as
Dion, such a win. Dion lost the rest of his other half of his team today, Chris. Get out of here. Go troll another channel.
I was like, Dion's recruiting class is falling apart.
Yeah. And so are half his players. He lost his starting offensive lineman today.
Well, I'm not shocked by that because he already said he needed to get a whole new line. So I guess the guy did him a favor. And yeah, who are we going to play? Well, that's the thing. We're going to have to wait and see what happens tomorrow with the other title games. Sunday we'll know for sure, but I think we already speculate potentially Ohio State. Ohio State. I mean, Alabama would be okay too, but most likely Ohio State, just with the tie-ins. But then again, the Fiesta sometimes pick up the group of 5. Sometimes. So we'll have to see. If Tulane wins, yeah.
Tulane or not Tulane? Tonight.
No, it would still be Tulane. If Tulane wins tomorrow, they would be the top group of 5. They're ahead of Liberty. They're ahead of Liberty.
Okay.
They're 22. Liberty was 24. So it would still be Tulane, I believe. So then it could be Tulane, but not. Yeah, we're going to find that out Sunday for sure in that long fiasco of a show that they do. I thought Sunday was going to be an easy day, and then I remembered that was coming up. I was like, oh, Christ. I'll take any team. I don't think Oregon's not afraid to play any team. So
that is true. Don't need to win the big to get in the 12. Just got to have a good showing.
Yeah, I mean that's the big thing is next season with the 12 team, you don't have to be the top 4. You can have 2, even maybe like SEC teams 3 or 4 losses and still be considered great. So, I mean, obviously you'd prefer to be because depending on how they're going to do buys or whatever the hell it is,
Y'all have no idea how painful it is to go without alcohol for years, only to down bottle because of bullshit play calling in the fourth quarter. Yeah. You're a trooper, Cameron.
Yeah, again, there was definitely some kind of like the quarterback draw. I was like, really? That's what we're gonna pull out in the fourth quarter on a 3rd and 9. The quarterback draw.
Yeah.
Didn't like that at all.
No, it's calls like that you're going, maybe if that's in the first half or something, but in the fourth quarter when you're trying to, solidify, you're trying to hold on to a lead, and there, I just didn't understand that call.
I mean, I guess I kind of understand in the sense of outside of, a few runs by Nix over the season, he hasn't run the ball directly. Like there's been no like truly designed plays for it. No, but that was on a bust. That wasn't a
Yeah,
designed play.
last year too, if you remember, a lot of his yardage was on busted.
No. I get that. I'm saying this whole year, all the film they looked at this year with Will Stein, Nix does not directly run the ball much. So that one run he had was a bust where he escaped and then it was man coverage. So he was like, well, I can run. So tonight they were like, well, let's pull this out because they might not expect it. But the D line for Washington was just that good. They only had 4 guys on the line. It's not like they were blitzing or anything. They just had 4 guys on the line. You know, it just so I kind of get the idea, but yeah, it's not. It just it did not work, and I did not like the call. I mean, I see kind of why maybe, but I didn't like the call.
Yeah, it was a bad play call.
Yeah, I think well, I think that LSU fans are pretty happy because I really do think that I do think Jane Daniels has won the Heisman. I think Nix and Penix will be there with one other person, maybe like Marvin Harrison, but I'm pretty sure Daniels has probably won it because unfortunately, probably half of the Heisman voters have already submitted their ballot before the end of the weekend. So most likely, he probably has won the Heisman, and that's okay.
Would you be shocked if they gave it
To
Penix?
mm,
I just don't think he's got it. I mean,
I'd be a little surprised because the fact he was in third place.
and he only had 1 touchdown tonight. He went 12-0. I mean,
13-0.
13-0. There's a talk for it, maybe.
I'd be surprised. I think it would be more like Jaden Penix than Nix, like 1, 2, 3. So I'm pretty sure Daniels did win the Heisman tonight. Because it was Penix or Nix, really. Those are the only 2. So I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure exactly. He locked it up tonight. Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if half the voters already voted for Daniels before tonight, even. Like they always do.
On the pregame, they're like, yeah, if you voted before if you voted this week, well, you already know you voted for Daniels. If you haven't voted yet, jury's still out.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it'll most likely be Daniels will get it, and then Penix and Nix and like Harrison or someone else will be there as the 4th person. They'll probably get the invite to go, but they're not going to win it. It'll probably be Daniels. Well, of course, that's how it fucking works. Exactly how it fucking works.
Yep.
And I mean, look, his stats are fucking amazing. I'm not sitting here saying his stats are not amazing and what he's accomplished this year is not amazing. It's not his fault. His defense sucks. But it's not anyone else's fault that they get pulled out of the game early 3rd quarter because they're blowing teams out, and he's in there the 4th quarter throwing 2 extra touchdowns just to run up yards and stats. But it's Daniels, and then again, Nix and Penix will most likely be there also, just as kind of onlookers. And yes, Penix will now have more yards as of now than Nix. He will surpass them by about 100 yards, I think. I want to say about 100 yards. Something like that. Let me see here. I'm going to find this. Knicks has a total of, where the hell is that stat? 3,906 yards. Penix has probably. Okay, I don't think that's updated. Yeah, I don't think that's updated yet because it still says Penix is behind Knicks by like 7 yards. Yeah, it hasn't updated yet, but I'm pretty sure Penix should be ahead of Knicks now by like 100 yards passing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's not updating yet.
Yeah, I think he probably jumped. Bo probably went to third. Penix probably jumped up to second,
Second, Daniel
and
solidified the first.
solidified first.
Well, solidified first by default almost at that point. But
Yeah,
regardless, we said it like on Tuesday. This would have taken Knicks to have a 350 yard game with like 3 touchdowns and a win to nail it down for him.
that was weird.
No, your internet sucks. That's why.
That's never done that.
Uh-oh. Everyone that you've been blocking is hacking your system right now.
Probably.
They're collecting all of your private information right now. Which would be a great time to be a sponsor for like some sort of security thing if we had a sponsor. So if you guys know a sponsor would like to sponsor us here on the Oregon channel, that'd be great. Send them our way.
Yeah, send them our way.
So, well, once again, I think someone else has said in the chat, and I already had the banner. We showed it the very first thing. One final time, I want to congrats to Washington, 13-0, first one in the Pac-12 era to completely go undefeated, 13-0, since Oregon did in the Pac-10 at 12-0. So congratulations to them. And again, as hard as it is to believe this is the last Pac-12 game, but just like the first time, I don't think you could have asked for kind of the better ending to the conference.
Yeah. And you get a rematch of some classic Rose Bowls, possibly, most likely, in Washington and Michigan.
Let's go. Oh, sorry. What?
Yeah,
What?
Tyler
What?
Van Dyke to Oregon. I will shoot myself.
Oh, it was disgusting. Some Michigan fans were like, I hope it's like a 14-7 game for the Big Ten title. Michigan wins 14-7. I was like, ew. Gross. That's disgusting. Then again, it could be. Who knows? It is Iowa.
Yeah.
Chat, do you guys have any final positive or negative for this game? The final game of the Pac-12 era of football. A moment of silence. Okay. Spaz, wake up. I said a moment of silence. I didn't say go to sleep.
No.
Do you have any final thoughts, Spaz? Because again, I think this was exactly the right way for the conference to go out.
Yeah, it was a great game. The better team won. Washington came in prepared. They had a game plan and they executed it almost to perfection. Oregon made mistakes. Poor judge of play calling late in the game. Again, young, inexperienced coach, OC, DC, all the way around. These guys are only in their second year together. Some of them are on their first year. So, let these guys blend, let them gel, give them a couple of years and let them build their juggernaut because it's coming. And we see glimpses of it. We thought we were there this year, but again, we just got to quit giving off that premature ejaculation. It just doesn't work right. You gotta build it, and it takes time. So, congrats, Dan Lanning. You're 0-3 against Kalen DeBoer and the Washington Huskies, and hopefully, you can go to a New Year's Six bowl still, and hopefully, get Ohio State and get a little bit of revenge on the 2014 loss.
Well, we already did that in the shoe.
Well, we already did that in the shoe, and then we stomp kick Ryan Day in the playoffs and cause him to lose his job. That would be funny.
Oh God. Yeah, I never even thought about how to finish it off in the sense of a goodbye for the Pac-12. I guess that would be the Tuesday bowl game show where we can also do a final goodbye to the Pac-12. It's tough. Remember, all the flags are going to change. The banner back here, that's gone. It's tough. I have to agree, though. I mean, the one positives tonight, especially, and this whole season one is compared to last season. You saw one, not just how the offense could continue. A lot of that's positive nicks, but also transfers. But look at that. I mean, the defense improvement from last year to this year. The one weakness was still the secondary, in a way, but it was a lot better than last year. Hell of a lot better than last year.
A lot better than last year.
So the point is, you have to give them another year. And if you see another improvement next year, you go, okay, it's still improving. That's the point. As long as it's not declining. That's the thing. USC. So
why am I not seeing?
I don't know who's pissing who off in the chat, but he's about to block someone else, I have a feeling.
Nope. Chat's good right now.
Yeah, Mr. O'Neill. I think it also goes through baseball, too. I think it goes till summertime. I think. Unless baseball starts in Big Ten. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think the spring game for football is Big Ten, but I think baseball is still Pac-12. Yeah, there's that kind of weird crossover time frame with baseball, so I'm not 100% sure on that one. As for football, it's officially done. That's it. Outside of the bowl games, just representing the Pac. That's it for football.
Yeah.
So, everyone, we hope everyone enjoyed the game tonight. As much as it hurt, you laughed at us. You cried with us. Maybe it's the first time you're watching this show. Maybe you've been here a long time, like some of the people in the chat I know. So, everyone here, can we get a final salute to the Pac-12?
Yep.
Not that. A drink, you asshole. Jesus. Have some respect, Spaz. I'm going to put your name back to cranky bitch. Final salute to the Pac-12.
I'm out of drink, so.
Well, everyone, you can find us here every Tuesday, every post game. Well, yeah, well, every post game at this point, mostly the bowl game, of course. And every Tuesday night, right here for the Oregon Ducks live show, right here on the Oregon Channel, the Voice of College Football, as well as both of us on the Sunday night show for the After Dark show, which again, for some reason, Mark, Delirious State allowed me to host by myself on that show. I have no idea why he does that, what he's thinking, but he does. So, oh well. Spaz, where can people find you if they want to stalk you?
You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at the Rocky Classic. And that's pretty much it. Or here. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. We still have a couple more to go since we do have a bowl game. And then Saturday's whatever the last post game of the year, whatever bowl game it'll be that night. And I've had too much to drink, so yeah, I'm done.
Oh, you think the chat has noticed this for like 45 minutes.
Oh yeah,
They have been noticing that. Yeah,
they
I thought they were talking about me at first, and I was like,
guy.
What?
Yeah, they were calling you the drunk slurring soccer guy.
Yeah, I thought they were talking to me, then they were saying soccer shirt. I'm like, not me. So okay. Yeah. Once again, everyone, thank you. You can find me Exploring with Ben and Sam here on YouTube or Exploring with Ben on Twitter, and the other links are in the YouTube channel. And like we said, yep, every Tuesday night, 9 Central, 7 Pacific, we will be here for the Oregon Ducks weekly live show for the upcoming weeks, as well as the post game when the bowl game comes around, or any special news updates that we find along the way, perhaps. And yeah, once again, it's just exactly the way the Pac-12 should have gone out. So we appreciate all of you who've been tuning in. Again, hit that like, hit that subscribe. And until the next time, we hope you guys have a great night and continue to